Marjorie Greene came to humiliate Bernie Sanders, but when he read one letter, she had nothing left to say. She brought fire. He brought one sentence, and the crowd couldn't stop cheering. Marjorie Taylor Greene came in hot. The lights, the energy, the crowd divided. She didn't wait. Here we go again? Bernie Sanders preaching about fairness while pushing government control down everyone's throat. A cheer burst from one half of the room. The other half stayed stone still. She turned directly to him. You want to talk about poverty, Bernie? You've been in politics for 40 years. Maybe you're not the solution. Maybe you're the reason. Gasps. She didn't stop. You hand out money like it's candy. But guess what? The bill always lands on us. The taxpayers, the families, the forgotten. Sanders sat, unmoved. Not a blink, not a flinch. Just a quiet breath, and one hand resting on a thick folder. Greene smirked. Come on, Senator. Got something for me tonight? Or is it just another speech about Denmark and the 1%? The moderator turned to Sanders. Still silence. Greene raised an eyebrow. Crowd murmurs started. Sanders finally looked up. Didn't open his folder. Didn't speak. Just one glance. Then back down to the table. Okay, real question. Was Bernie just getting steamrolled by Miyokuru or planning something big? What's your take? Drop it in the comments below. Sanders opened the folder. Slow, precise. Like he'd done this 100 times. He pulled out a single sheet of paper. No charts, no graphs, just a letter. This, he said finally, is from a veteran, lives in rural Georgia. Same state as you, Congresswoman Greene. He didn't yell, didn't posture. He read, Dear Senator Sanders, my wife and I worked all our lives. After she got sick, we lost our house trying to pay medical bills. The only thing that helped was your expansion of Medicare. It gave us time. It gave her dignity. The room shifted. Greene's smile faded slightly. Sanders looked at her. You say I hand out money like candy. I say, I gave that man a chance to hold his wife's hand without worrying about bankruptcy. The screen behind them flashed. Medical bankruptcy filings, red states versus blue states. The contrast was sharp. Numbers don't lie, he added, but they don't cry either, people do. Greene gripped her mic, but didn't speak. Not yet. All right, be honest. Did this letter hit harder than any debate line could? Let us know in the comments. Would this change your mind if it were your family? Greene sat forward, hands gripping the edges of the desk. You love stories, Bernie, but America doesn't run on stories. It runs on hard work. She pointed at the crowd. That veteran? I respect him, but you're using his pain to push a broken system. The room stirred. A few claps, a few side eyes. Greene raised her voice. You give out programs that teach people to wait, not work. And then you call it compassion. Sanders didn't interrupt. He just pulled out another page. Greene kept going. We don't need more dependency. We need responsibility and a government that gets out of the way. She turned to the moderator. Ask him how he's going to pay for it, not in slogans, not in stories, but in math. Sanders tapped the mic once, held up the second document. Fair enough. He looked straight at her. You want math? Let's do math. The screen lit up again. Annual tax breaks for corporations versus cost of universal insulin access. It wasn't even close. Greene's mouth tightened. Sanders spoke calmly. One of these saves lives. The other buys yachts. So here's the question. Which version of America do you think makes more sense? Drop it in the comments. No filters, no noise. Just your gut. Sanders pulled out a final paper. Not a report, not a letter. A printed tweet. He raised it just enough for the camera to see. "Congresswoman Greene, recognize this?" The screen behind them zoomed in. At Rep. TG, March 2020. No American should ever go bankrupt because of a hospital bill. Period. The crowd shifted again. Phones came out. Screenshots already flying. Sanders read it out loud, word for word. Then, "That's a direct quote from you. But when we proposed Medicare expansion, you called it government overreach." Greene stared at the screen, then back at Sanders. She didn't speak. Sanders leaned just slightly forward. "So which one is it, Congresswoman? No one should go bankrupt, or only some people should get that protection?" The moderator opened his mouth, closed it. The crowd was completely still. Greene didn't say a word. Not yet. Sanders looked at the audience. Silence isn't weakness, but when the truth hits close, it tends to echo louder. Okay, real talk. Is this what accountability looks like? Or is Sanders twisting her words for effect? What's your take? Drop your thoughts below. We're reading all of it. Sanders lowered the tweet printout and reached into his folder one last time. This time, he pulled out a clean, stapled draft. "I'm not here to embarrass you, Congresswoman. I'm here to ask you something." He walked over to the moderator's table, placed the draft down. "This is a co-sponsor proposal. It's not perfect, but it would cap insulin at $25, expand rural clinics, and protect veterans' prescriptions." He looked at her, calm, steady. "You talk about fighting for working families. Here's a chance to do it, without the cameras rolling." The studio was silent again. Greene didn't interrupt. She just looked at the paper. No sarcasm, no smirk, just silence. "You don't have to say yes," Sanders added. "You just have to read it before you say no." He stepped back. The audience wasn't sure whether to applaud or just breathe. "Your turn. If you were in her seat, would you take the offer or defend your position? Be honest. Comment what you would do." A minute passed. Maybe two. Greene still hadn't spoken. Then, quietly, she stood up, walked to the moderator's desk, picked up the draft, didn't open it, just nodded once, then returned to her podium. No applause, no music, just a ripple in the air. Sanders sat down. No victory speech. The screen behind them faded to black and then lit up with 6 simple words. People over party. Lives over politics. That phrase would trend within the hour. So would #Greene reads the draft. And a quote clipped from Sanders's final line. "You don't have to agree, you just have to cause." In a high school civics class in Minnesota, a teacher paused the replay and asked, "What just happened?" A student raised her hand. They stopped fighting, and maybe they started thinking. So what do you think? Was this just a moment of calm, or the start of a shift we actually need? Let's hear your take in the comments. Would you have taken the paper or walked away? Like, subscribe, and share if you believe that real change starts with one decision: to listen.